Well, I've got myself together enough to talk about my ma. So in today's video, I'm going to share an update on her decline. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly do appreciate it. And I also want to thank you all for your thoughts and your prayers and your well wishes. You deeply touch my heart, and I am so very grateful for it. Well, this is Monday, January 2nd, and this video will go up tomorrow morning on January the 3rd. I just got back from the nursing home, taking a little break here, so I thought I would sit down and do this video to give you all an update. So many of you have been so kind and gracious and loving towards my mother, and I appreciate it so very much. She has been a part of my channel since I started my channel. Not in a big way, but I do talk about her often. So most of you know her and know the situation with her. Well, we had company the week before Christmas, and that was my daughter-in-law Nina, and she brought down two of my grandsons, Luke and Noah. They are Tristan's brothers. While they were here, we went and visited my ma, and she was so happy to see them. She was just on cloud nine. We had her outside in the sun, of course, and she was laughing and smiling and talking with everyone. She was drinking her coffee and eating all the candy she could get. Everybody was giving her candy. So it was just a wonderful visit. Well, unfortunately, 3 days later, or maybe 4 days later, on Christmas Day, I got a phone call from the nursing home. My sister and her husband had come down to my house to eat Christmas dinner, and we ate maybe 1:45, and when we were finished, my sister and I went out front to sit in the sun. Well, we were out there maybe 5 minutes, and the phone rang. It was the nursing home, and the nurse said that my mother had taken a deep decline very rapidly, and if we wanted to see her, we needed to get right over there. Well, needless to say, I flipped out. I really did. I was in shock. Number one, what do you mean we have to get right over there? He didn't say, you might want to come over this evening or tomorrow morning. He said to come over now. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's not that I don't understand that she'll be 97 in 3.5 months, and she has dementia, but I just saw her with my daughter-in-law and the kids, and she was great. She looked great. So it just shocked me. It just threw me. And even though we're only a mile or two from the nursing home, I didn't think I would get there quick enough because of that phone call. Well, I ran in the house. I couldn't even talk. Dave and Tristan and my brother-in-law were watching a football game, and I tried to get the words out, but it's like I had no air in my lungs. I couldn't even talk. I couldn't get the words out that we had to go immediately. And they all looked at me and said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I guess they thought I had gotten a call that she had died or something. And it was just, I don't know what happened to me. It was just the sheer shock of it. So we all got in the car and went straight over there, And when we got there, I'm telling you, she looked dead. She was in the wheelchair. It was a new wheelchair that has a high back and it can recline where you can lay back. And she was laid back in it. And honestly, she did not look alive. She looked horrible. And we all gathered around her. We were all talking to her. And she said, "I'm dying. I'm dying." And she kept saying, "I'm dying." And I said, "Ma, who told you that?" And she said, "God." That really shocked me. I know most of you know I was raised very strict Roman Catholic. And that was by my dad because he was the Roman Catholic in our family. And my mother was not. My mother didn't attend church with us or anything. This was all done through my dad. Well, in 71 years that I've known my mother, she has never ever talked about faith, about God, nothing. And it just shocked me that she said that. She was so very weak. You could barely understand her. Her voice was like a whisper. She had no strength. She looked gaunt. How could she when I just saw her days before that? But her face was all sunken in. She looked so frail, so thin. I don't know how that happened. I mean, how can you go from one way to something else in 3 days or 4 days? But that's the truth. That's what she looked like. The hospice nurse arrived and checked her out. And as bad as she looked and as weak as she was, her vital signs were perfect. Her oxygen was 96. Her blood pressure was 120 over 64, I think, which is really good. But she looked like she was dying. So the hospice nurse said that she was transitioning. She was not in what is called actively dying at the moment. When you're actively dying, you usually have 2 hours to 2 days. And other things happen, which I won't go into right now. But she was not in that state. She was in the transitioning state. And they don't know how long that will last. But the hospice nurse said it could be 6 hours to 6 days. So we knew her time was very limited. Each day thereafter, we're there every day, all day. She just continues to decline. Of course, she's completely bedbound, and she just lays there. She moans. I don't think she's in any pain, and they don't think she's in any pain because she doesn't have any diseases like heart disease or cancer or something like that. And they listen to her belly and they can tell there's no like bowel obstruction or compaction or something like that. So we don't feel like she's in pain that way. However, I'm trying to remember how they explained it, that she's hypersensitive because when you're on your way out, the nerve endings, due to lack of circulation, I think she said, the nerve endings are like right on the surface and they're very, very sensitive. So it's like if you've ever had a bad tooth and it's like it hits that nerve and you could jump through the ceiling. Well, that's the way her whole body feels. So she's very sore all over, tender to the touch. If I just touch her like this, she's like, "Oh, honey, you're hurting me, you're hurting me." Everything hurts on her body. And again, it's those nerve endings and lack of circulation. I think it's her left arm has turned black from the elbow down to the wrist. I'll insert a picture, if I can, right here, just of her arm. And that, they said, was due to circulation shutting down. She did not eat on Christmas Eve and hasn't eaten since. So it's been 9 days with no food at all. I didn't know you could live without eating, at least not past a week. I thought the most you could go would be a week. But they said no, you can actually go up to 30 days with no food and still, be surviving. She is drinking, not a lot, but she is drinking. She's thirsty, and she's just drinking like juice or Propel or things like that, but we have to feed it to her through a straw. She is so weak, she couldn't hold a glass or anything. She just keeps kissing our hands, and she wants to hold hands. She wants both of her hands held, and we do. And of course, we've been over, like I said, every day. My sister and brother-in-law have been over almost every day. They've had to miss a day or two for different reasons, but other than that, they have come over. Tristan has been over. The kids have all called and talked to her on the phone. I have to hold the phone up to her ear because she can't hold the phone. And on that Christmas day when we rushed over there, thinking that she wasn't going to last but a few hours, I called my brother in Pennsylvania so that he could talk to her and tell her how much he loved her, and he did. And she responded to him that she loved him, and it was like she gave him her goodbye. She kept saying, "Now, honey, you be good. Remember, Mac, you be good." And we all just felt like she was saying goodbye. Well, here it is, 9, 10 days later, whatever it is, she is still with us. It is so heartbreaking to watch her slip away day by day by day. She still speaks. It's in a weak voice and a slow voice, but she does speak. She does tell us she loves us. She asks us what is wrong with her. She tells us she doesn't feel good. Things like that. For some reason, she thinks I had a baby. I don't know where that came from. I guess it's part of the dementia or maybe something else. But that first day she asked me, "Where's the baby?" I didn't know whose baby she was talking about. I don't know if she thinks it's her baby or if I had a baby. But I just played along and said, "Oh, she's here. She's over there sleeping in a little bassinet." And she said, "Oh, she's so cute. She's beautiful. She's such a good baby." So I don't understand that. There have been other things that have happened that I don't understand, but I have heard by education from hospice that these are normal things that happen. She will put both hands up like this with the palms up, and she's looking up, and she has her hands open like this, like she's waiting to receive something. But we don't, again, know. She doesn't say anything. These are just things that she is doing. She says she wants to go to sleep, that she's very, very tired. And about 4 days ago, Dave was sitting on the side of the bed holding her hand, and she said, "Dave, do you like Jesus?" Well, I have never heard my mother say the name of Jesus, ever. And then, of course, Dave said, "Oh, yes, very much. Do you?" And she said, "Yeah, I like him too." I took that as a sign that Jesus wants him to know us and be in relationship with us, and that we accept him as our Savior in order to go to heaven. And even in her demented mind, somehow I think that's been happening, because why would she say that? So I feel like that was a sign to me that she has accepted Jesus into her heart, and that would give her the freedom, the permission, if you will, to go ahead and let go and pass on. But she is still with us, so maybe that's in the process. You know, you wonder, why is she still hanging on? But yet, God does things for the good of all. He wants my mother to be saved, to know Him, to enter the gates of heaven. And I think that's exactly what's taking place. Yesterday, she told me that she wanted to go. And I said, "Where do you want to go, Ma?" And she said, "Up." That's all she said. So little pieces are falling into place for me, from my perspective, of what's going on. I also feel like God is giving Dave and I the time to accept this in our hearts. Like I said, that day I got that call, I was already just completely falling apart. But since then, I have gotten stronger. And I know it's by God's grace. And I know it's from your beautiful prayers that you have prayed for us, that have given me the strength. So now I'm holding up fine. My main goal is to be there for my ma every single day, to hold her hand, to kiss her, to feel her kissing my hand, to make sure she feels safe. She knows we're there. She knows she's not alone. That is all I want for her. And of course, her comfort. Now, will she last 30 days? Will she make it to 30 days with no food? Nobody knows. I don't know how much longer she will hang on. Again, that's between her and God. She is failing each and every day. They are giving her morphine for the discomfort. She's very, very uncomfortable. She's very confused. She keeps telling me she wants to go to bed. Please put her in the bed, but she is in the bed. There's no way she can get out of the bed. But she insists she's in a chair. And no matter how many times I tell her, "Ma, you're in bed and I'm right here beside you," a minute later she's saying, "Will you please put me in bed?" But she says it in a very weak, kind of unclear voice. I know what she's saying, though. And it's just repeated over and over again. She wants to sit up. I'll click the button to raise the bed up, and I'll say, "How's that, Ma? That's good." 2 seconds later, put the bed down. I want to lay down. I put it down. A few seconds later, put me up. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down, all day long. But that's okay. She doesn't understand what's going on. She asks where she is, and we tell her she's back in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, which is where she was when we brought her down here 5 or 6 years ago. And we tell her she's in her house, even though that house was sold years ago, and that she's in her own bed, and we're staying up there with her. So that makes her very happy that she feels she's back home. So that's my update that I have so far. I do have maybe 2 more videos that I had pre-filmed before this happened that I can use for Friday, and maybe I have one for Sunday. I'm not sure. I don't know when I will be able to film again. It depends on how long this goes on and how she's doing and things like that. But we want to spend every minute with her. We never want her to feel that she's alone or by herself. And I'm sure you all understand. So if you see videos, that just means I pre-filmed them. And I'll give it maybe another, I don't know how many days. I'll do another update, if I have another update, as soon as I can. Once she moves into actively dying, then it's going to be quick. Like I said, 2 hours to 2 days. It's been very heartbreaking. I'm happy for her because she has suffered long enough. I mean, she's been blind. She can't hear. She's been stuck in a wheelchair. She's had no life for these last couple years, and she has wanted to go. She didn't understand why she was still here. She just wanted to go. That's what she wants. I don't want her to go, but that's what she wants. So I know God will take her in His perfect timing, and I can't question when that will be. I would appreciate your continued prayers for my ma, for me and Dave and our family as we go through this, because that has been so helpful, more helpful and comforting than you could ever know. And I deeply thank you for that. I might sound a little worn out here. I'm trying to be peppy. I am tired. I am really tired, but that's okay. I'm right where I want to be, and that's with my ma. Well, now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip today comes from Matthew 11:28 through 30. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. The meaning of Matthew 11:28 through 30 is to show us God's intention for us. It is not to weigh us down, but to give us rest. And we don't have to do it alone because we are yoked to Jesus. I am focusing on this scripture verse because I need it. Right now, I need it. I feel very weary and heavy laden due to the situation. These days are going by like a blur. Of course I can't sleep. I think that's just normal. I'm just waiting for my phone to ring in the middle of the night and making sure I can jump out of bed and go straight to the nursing home if I need to. I'm afraid to wash my hair because what if I get it soaking wet and the phone rings and I have to run out the door? Things like that. I put a lot of that pressure on myself, but it's swirling around in my mind. Being at a nursing home all day long, every day, is very, very tiring. And watching somebody struggle and suffer just puts such a burden on your heart. It's really heavy, and it's difficult to deal with. And then you get home and you're exhausted, but yet you just feel like you can't lay down, but you can't accomplish anything. I'm not cleaning my house like I normally do. I don't really know what to do with myself Once I get home, I think, oh, I should go back. Because what if she wakes up and calls my name? I want to be there, and I want her to know that I'm there. Now, logically, do I know that I can't be there 24/7? Yes, I know that. But that doesn't change what's in my heart and what my heart wants. So I'm just tired and worn out and pretty depleted right now. And if it wasn't for the grace of God and Him carrying me through this, I don't know how I would make it. I really don't. But I am so grateful that for now, He has given me the strength to get through this each day. I can just keep pressing on and pressing forward. Even if I feel like I'm going to collapse, I don't. I keep going. And I know I could not do that on my own. We can handle so much more than we think we can, but not on our own. Absolutely not. If I've learned one thing, I have learned that God truly will carry us through any situation, and that gives me great comfort and great peace. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.